3:7:14. Ashesha Sanklesha Samam Vidhate.
Ashesha Sanklesha Samam Vidhate.
Gunanuvada Shravanam Murare.
Gunanuvada Shravanam Murare.
Imva Punastak Charanaravinda.
Imva Punastat Charanaravinda.
Paraga Seva Ratiratma Labdha.
Paraga Seva Ratiratma Labdha.
Someone recite, please.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Ashesha Sanklesha Samam Vidatte.
Ashesha Sanklesha Samam Vidhate.
Gunanuvada Shravanam Murare.
Gunanuvada Shravanam Murare.
Imva Punastat Charanaravinda.
Kimva Punastat Charanaravinda.
Paraga Seva Ratiratma Labdha.
Paraga Seva Ratiratma Labdha.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu.
Someone else, please.
Ashesha Sanklesha Samam Vidate.
Ashesha Sanklesha Samam Vidhate.
Gunanuvada Shravanam Murare.
Gunanuvada Shravanam Murare.
Kimva Punasta Charanaravinda.
Kimva Punasta Charanaravinda.
Paraga Seva Ratiratma Labdha.
Paraga Seva Ratiratma Labdha.
Hare Krishna.
Translation. Simply by chanting and hearing of the transcendental name, form, etc. of the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, one can achieve the cessation of unlimited miserable conditions. Therefore, we want to speak of those who have attained attraction for serving the flavor of the dust of the Lord's lotus feet. So this is the concluding response of Maitreya Rishi to Mahatma Vidura. So in last session, we read how Lord created Virat Rup, means the whole material creation. It's because material creation were inert by nature. On their own, they cannot do anything. The material energy, the matter. So when the elements were created, they offered prayers to the Lord and say that, please enlighten us what we need to do and help us in doing our duties. Then Lord, with his transcendental potency, combined all these material elements and so that they can work together in harmony and create the variety that we see in this world. That variety that we see is the amalgamation of various elements, material elements, so beautifully arranged. Krishna is an artist. So how he arranged all the elements to work together and create beautiful things. You can see our own bodies and other bodies everywhere. You see so much variety and so much art is there in that. In the nature you see, it's all Krishna says in Gita that it's just a spark of his splendor. It's not even he didn't even put any substantial effort in that. He just thought of it, and the energies started doing that. It's just a spark of his splendor. And this whole material nature is just a spark. So what to speak of the spiritual realm? So we can appreciate so much beauty in this world itself, so to speak. So what to speak of the beauty of spiritual world? Okay. So Maitreya Rishi explains all those things, that how Lord enters into these worlds and creates the worlds and sustains it and then destroys it again and again. Then after that, Vidura is satisfied with that. Then he asks a few more questions. So in this chapter, the 7th chapter, Vidura asks a few more questions. And his questions are like, If Krishna is complete spiritual whole, Krishna is a Purnam, complete spiritual whole, and is unchangeable. It doesn't change. Only Shakti changes. So our Siddhanta is that we believe in Shakti Parinamvad. Lord doesn't change, he is unchangeable, but his Shaktis change. So whatever we see, all the varieties, is a transformation of his Shaktis. So how this Lord, who is complete spiritual, how he is connected to material energy and its activities? How, if this is whole creation is a pastime, it's a Srishti Leela, then how Krishna is involving these activities and exhibiting his Leelas without getting in contact with the matter? How it is possible? How is making everything work together without being in contact with them? That was first question he asked to Maitreya Rishi. Then again, second question he asked is, Lord doesn't have any desire. He's always self-satisfied. He's Atma Rama. He's detached. Then why did he create this world? Why he creates, why he maintains, and why he destroys and dissolves it again and again? Why he does that? So, and he says, further says that Krishna is a cause of all this creation, and by his own Maya Shakti, or Nila Shakti, or Durga Shakti, he maintains and dissolves it again and again. So how come he does? Why he does this? And also, that is the question. It's about Isha Tattva. He's asking about Lord. He's asking about, he wants to know the truth about the Lord. Then he talks about Jiva. He asks questions about Jiva Tattva. But Jivatma is pure. Atma is pure usually. It's not, it has pure consciousness. It is never out of consciousness. Atma is never dead. It's always, the symptom of Atma is conscious. And it's always pure. In any situation, it's pure. Then how come it becomes engaged in material activities? How come it gets into Maya? So that is one more question he asked. And then he also says that Paramatma is always with Jivatma. He is always in the heart of Jiva. Then how come Jiva's karma results in misfortune and misery? If Paramatma is always with Atma, how come Atma is getting entangled with Maya and always doing karmas which results in miseries and misfortune? So these are all questions that bewildered, that were causing distress to Mahatma Vidura. He knows answers for all these things, but he wants to hear from Maitreya Rishi, what that he has received from his gurus and Krishna. You want to hear. So because that's what devotee does. He hears Krishna Katha. He wants to hear Krishna Katha again and again and again. He never gets tired of it. So you want to hear, and also to benefit us. Then Maitreya Rishi replies that Krishna is the cause of everything, is a cause of all causes. He's a cause of this creation as well, this material creation as well. The thing is, he creates this material world, but he doesn't identify with it. It doesn't get overpowered by it, because this Maya Shakti is his own energy. He controls it, he supervises it, and he's a master of Maya Shakti. And Maya Shakti simply acts as an agent, as a servant of Krishna. They always subordinate to Krishna. That's why Krishna, when he's creating material creation, this whole thing, he's untouched. He's untouched because he's supreme personality of Godhead. He's Bhagavan. All the Shaktis are emanating from him. And Maya Shakti is his separated energy. He has his own Swarupa energy, and he also has separated energy. So Maya Shakti is separated energy. So it is his own servant. But how come Jivas, which are pure, how come they are engaged in material activity? How they came in contact with matter then? because jivas are minute. Jivas are part and parcel of Krishna. They are minute and they don't have power to overcome Maya Shakti because they are so minute. On their own strength, they don't have power to overcome Maya Shakti. Prabhupada always gives an example that in a fire, when we have this bonfire, big fire, and there are a lot of sparks that comes out, So as long as the sparks are within that fire, they are strong. But when the spark falls on the wet ground, on the wet grass, what happens? Instantaneously, right away, it just dies down. The intensity is gone, the fire is gone, it just cools down. So the spark, when the spark is, actually this is from Upanishad actually, when the spark is away from the fire, it falls on the wet ground, then its existence is gone, it just captured by that wetness. In the same way, when Jiva becomes forgetful of Krishna, it easily gets captured by Maya. So Maya is also, Daivi Esha Guname, Maya Duratya. It's very, very strong, very powerful, very powerful. And Jiva is very weak. The Jiva Atma, on its own strength, the Atma Bala of Jiva is so small because there are limited Jivas, and Maya Shakti is quite vast, and very easily she captures Jiva. Because why she can capture Jiva? Because Jiva is Vimukha. He doesn't know who he is. He doesn't have Bhakti Shakti. That's why he's weak. He may have his Atma Bala, but he doesn't have Bhakti Bala. So the Atma Bala is so weak that Maya can easily take him over. And since Jiva is in Avidya, he is easily overpowered by Maya. And since he is forgetful of his real identity, who he is, he is actually Krishna's eternal part and parcel, servant of Krishna. He forgets that. And he wants to be master. He wants to enjoy. So when he gets captured by Maya, he comes in contact with Maya, matter, and he wants to lord it over. He wants to control the matter. And Maya creates an illusion that, yes, go ahead, you can control it. And you can be in my grip as long as you want. And Maya, and based on the gunas, the Shakti of Maya, he does all these activities. So based on karma and gunas, he gets different bodies. Maya awards him different bodies, and he identifies with the body. Sometimes he is human, sometimes he is ghost, sometimes he is animal, sometimes he is reptile, sometimes he is devata, sometimes he is in hell, sometimes he is in heaven. He identifies with it due to being overpowered by Maya. So here in Bhagavatam, in this chapter, an example is given by Maitreya Rishi, how it feels Maya Jiva under Maya, control of Maya. So when we are sleeping, when we're in dream, when we are sleeping and we in the dreams, we see so many dreams. We don't remember actually when we get up in the morning, but we see so many dreams. And in the dream, sometimes we remember some dreams, and we see that a person sees a dream and he sees that his head is cut off in the dream. He identifies himself with that person. And when he feels that his head cut off, he feels that pain also in the dream. So much pain. When he wakes up, then he says, "Oh, thank you, Krishna, that it was just a dream. It was just a dream." So, but when he was sleeping, as long as he was dreaming, he was feeling that it is real. He was feeling that emotions, that pain, everything, right? And the cutting of the head, and when he gets up, okay, he gets a relief. Like even I used to have dreams actually, even till recently, that I have some test and I am not prepared for that day examination in school or in college. Like there's an examination in just next 1 hour and didn't even open the book. And I was in so much tension. It's a dream. It's a dream. I was so much tense. I was so much anxiety when I'm sleeping, actually. Usually when you sleep, you're rested, right? But sometimes the sleep also becomes too much work. When you're awake, you're working. When you're sleeping also, you're working. So you feel in so much anxiety, your test is in 1 hour and you didn't even open the book. And when the dream is over, I get up in the morning. Oh, thank Krishna, it's just a dream. There's no test. No, I don't need to study anything. I'm not in college. So yeah, it feels so real actually. When dreaming, it feels so real. In the same way, when Jiva, when it's captured by Maya, when it's contact with matter, it identifies himself with various designation, and it feels so real. That's what we are feeling. So the Jiva is real, the matter, the Maya is real, but what it is experiencing is not real. That is what its illusion is. That is what Maya means. What it is experiencing, because the experience is completely based on the gunas and the samskaras. Whatever the impressions you have and whatever gunas you are under shelter of, whatever your samskaras, past samskaras, and if you are in tamoguna, rajaguna, sattva-guna, you identify yourself in that way, and you fully experience that. Like we have like 3D and 4D, 5D, right? Like 10D. So we have like this complete material dimensions are experiencing in the dream. So that's how Jiva feels when he's under the trap of Maya. He feels like that. So that's what it is here. Maitreya Rishi is explaining about the Jiva Tattva and Isha Tattva. So how this, then is one more example is also given actually, not just the cutting of the head. There's one more example also given. Maitreya Rishi says that the moon, if you come and there's a water, and you see the reflection of the moon in the water, and you are standing on the banks of the river, and you see the reflection of the moon in the water. And if the water is disturbed, you see the moon is also disturbed. But when you look up, moon is not disturbed. The same thing. So Jiva is a pure Atma, but when it associates with the water, it appears to be disturbed. So when in the same way, when we associate with matter, we appear to be disturbed, but our real nature is completely pure and peace and satisfied. So this is one more example that is given. So this misidentification is the problem. Is all is because of misidentification of the self, avidya. We don't realize who we are. Then Maitreya Rishi comes to the conclusion that this misidentification of the self can be diminished by the mercy of Krishna and the process of bhakti and vairagya. So yeah, before that, why Krishna creates this? We already spoke this little bit in the previous session, that Krishna speaks this because jivas are so weak, they don't have bhakti shakti. So he wants to give them a chance to practice bhakti, attain bhakti shakti, and enter into spiritual world. So when jivas, after pralaya, they enter into the body of Mahavishnu, they enter into Paramatma. Again, Krishna creates this universe, and he again releases the jivas into the universe. They get the bodies, and they can start their journey again. So that is a purpose, to give jivas a chance to practice bhakti and attain bhakti shakti, and have enough strength, enough bhakti shakti to not be controlled by Maya Shakti and enter into spiritual world. So usually, if a jivas don't have bhakti shakti, then after pralaya, after Mahakalpa, they enter into body of Krishna, and they are in the state of sushupti. Sushupti means deep sleep, sushupti. Then deep sleep, they're just sleeping, slumber. But Krishna, out of his compassion nature, he's very compassionate. He sees the jiva, they are in slumber, they are in deep sleep, sushupti. He want to have rasa with them. Krishna is rasa vaisa. He want to have rasa with them. He want to give them a chance to come to his home, to his abode. That's why this whole thing happens. Okay? So Maitreyi is saying that this chance Krishna is giving to us, but we identify with matter and we cause our own miseries. Just like in dreams, we cause miseries. For no reason we are miserable in dreams by dreaming, bad things. I don't know how come those dream comes. Sometimes I get the dreams of missing the flight as well. So it's very stressful. How they come? Because of past samskaras and gunas, association with gunas. So, but by the mercy of Krishna, which we already have, the mercy of Krishna, and to the process of bhakti and vairagya, detachment from matter, we can reduce these miseries gradually, and they completely get destroyed as well. So what is the process of bhakti? So here in Prabhupada, this purport is giving, there are two methods to get rid of miserable conditions. One is jnana, and one is bhakti. Jnana means you have knowledge about the Lord, the Brahman, Advaita Jnana. So, but that Krishna says in Gita in 12th chapter that it's very troublesome and you may not be successful at the end. Even if you want to do jnana, to get the result, you have to do some bhakti. So ultimately, you have to come back to bhakti. So you cannot rely on jnana. It's just troublesome. Jnana, karma. Ultimately, you have to take support of some kind of bhakti. So the other second method is bhakti itself, in itself. Pure bhakti, not mixed with karma and jnana. So Prabhupada is, Krishna says in Gita as well, and Prabhupada is saying the same thing here, that that is the best bhakti yoga. Because bhakti means it's a personal aspect of the Lord, Bhagwan. We worship him. So how we worship the personal aspect of the Lord? Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Vandanam, Vachanam, Dasim, Sakyam Atmani Vedanam. So by chanting and hearing his Naam, Roop, Gun, Lila, Parikar, Dham, all these things, all these miserable conditions are gone. By jnana, these miseries are gone, but actually they are not completely gone. The seeds are still left. In Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Rupa Goswami mentions that. But by doing bhakti, the seeds are fried out. Even miseries are reduced, and even seeds are fried out, that those seeds will never again become anarthas or trees and bear any fruit. So that's why as soon as we start bhakti, we get shubhada. That's the first characteristics of bhakti. The result of bhakti, when you start bhakti, is shubhada. It's all auspiciousness. All the miseries are gone, and they're gone for good actually. Okay? So in bhakti, there are two stages. Prabhupada explaining here. One is sadhana bhakti, another is raga bhakti. Okay. So sadhana bhakti means you do Navavidha bhakti, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. So when you do sadhana bhakti, why it's called sadhana bhakti? It means you may not have the rati, you may not have attachment or attraction yet for Krishna's lotus feet, but you still do sadhana, because that is what our scriptures are saying. Like for example, take a strawberry. You read about strawberry that it's good for blood and it's good for heart, good for the brain and all. You read it. You may not like strawberry. You don't have attraction for strawberry, but you start eating it next morning because you read that it is good for heart and whatever body parts. So you get inspired. You get prompted by those good things that it gives. So you start eating it. So in the same way, sadhana bhakti, initially we may not have any attraction for Krishna's lotus feet. But you read in Shastras that it is good for me. It is good for me. It will remove all my miseries. It will give me what I want. It will give me Ashtasiddhis. It will give me heavenly planets. It will give me relief, peace, this and that. So you start doing bhakti. That is called, it comes under Vaidhi bhakti. In sadhana bhakti also, 2 types. And then you start getting some kind of attraction, because by the association of devotees, you enter into Raganuga, next step. If you don't associate with few devotees, you stay at Vaidhi bhakti level. You do it based on scriptures. Okay, this is good for me, I'm doing it. It's good for me, I'm doing it. But when you associate with a devotee who has rati, love for Krishna, then you start having desire to do Raganuga bhakti. From Vaidhi bhakti, by association with the Raga bhaktas, you will get a desire to do Raganuga bhakti. So still no attraction is not there yet. Rati is not there yet. So those devotees are doing Raga Seva. Those devotees whom we want to associate, they are doing Paraga Seva. They're serving the flavorful dust of the lotus feet of the Lord. They are doing externally all the same things, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, but their heart is somewhere else. Their heart is with Krishna. So when by associating and by hearing from Raga Bhaktas, we also get the attraction. So gradually we graduate from Vaidhi Bhakti to Raganuga Bhakti. And when we practice Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti, gradually, eventually, we also enter the stage of Raga Bhakti. Okay. So in this way here, the great sage Maitreya is giving final answer that bhakti is ultimate means to mitigate all miserable conditions. And Prabhupada is saying that by doing Raga Bhakti, you can even control the supreme powerful Lord. So here Raga is basically as Rati, basically. Rati means Nishta, Ruchi, Ashakti. After Ashakti, you get Rati, Bhava. So Bhavukas, when you associate with the Bhava Bhaktas, you get Rati. And you want to serve them in Krishna as by doing Raga Bhakti. Till you attain Raga Bhakti, before that you do Raganuga Bhakti, Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti. So this is the answer for Vidura's questions about Isha Tattva, Jiva Tattva, Maya, and how Jiva gets captured by Maya, and how Krishna gives mercy and bhakti, and how Krishna does, why Krishna does all these leelas. So very in summary, Maitreya Rishi explains this to Vidura, and Vidura gets pacified. Okay, now all my doubts are cleared. This is where we are in Bhagavatam. So we will pause here. If anybody have any questions or any comments or reflections, you can share.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.